Hello and welcome to Kelly's Wordy Reactions. Give me just a minute. To get to the article. So I have been waiting to talk about this today. I looked at Tasha K's interview where she interviewed a man by the name of Clayton Howard. And he says that he was one of the people that was with Cassie and Diddy for 8 years. And now he is wanting to sue Cassie. Actually, he says he has brought suit against Cassie. So I got a chance to see the interview on Tasha K, but I cannot play Tasha K's interview. So I'll do the next best thing and read the article. All right, so let me modify my chat experience here. I don't know why glasses bend so easy. Okay. Just a moment, I have to modify the chat a little bit, not much. Ooh, stop shaking, okay. Okay. All right, so thank you for joining. I really appreciate you stopping in. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna read the article from TMZ and show maybe, I don't know, I've heard TMZ is really strict about their material. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's see. So from a Diddy accuser, wait a minute, Cassie Diddy, oh no, okay, this is saying Cassie, who is a Diddy accuser. And of course, so, I mean, everybody knows that we're talking about Cassie Ventura, right? And of course, Diddy was just acquitted on the ex-trafficking charges, as well as the RICO that they had charged him with. So anyway, she is being sued, and the person suing her, his name is Clayton Howard, which I have a picture of him on the thumbnail. And he says she loved Puff's power, and he says he wanted to sue earlier. So let's get into the article. So Clayton Howard, the former escort who is suing both Cassie and Diddy for rugging, manipulating, and traumatizing him. Oh, wow. Okay, so I didn't catch that in the former, when I looked at this on Tasha K's channel. And if you'd like to go down the rabbit hole, then go over to Tasha K's channel. She actually interviewed him. But let's see, the former escort who is suing both Cassie and Diddy for rugging, manipulating, and traumatizing him tells TMZ he believes Cassie reveled in Diddy's power when it came to getting what she wanted. Okay, can somebody tell me if you can hear me? I did a live one time with absolutely no sound. So if you could tell me if you can hear me, that would I'd really appreciate it. Can you hear me? Oh, you know what? I can actually go see if I can hear myself. If anybody is not able to hop into the chat and let me know if you hear me. Let me see. because I don't want to repeat that. I literally did an hour live before without having any sound. Let's see. Where am I? Okay, great. I can hear myself. There's a little bit of a delay. Okay. Okay, so he says, or he tells TMZ, he believes Cassie reveled in Diddy's power when it came to getting what she wanted. So they interviewed him as well. And I don't know about playing TMZ material. I'm going to try it. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Let me see. Let me take that off. Maybe that's the problem. Okay. It kind of went away. Let me come back to it. All right, so, so in court, this person, Clayton, was identified as Dave. So this is the person that we know of from the trial as Dave. Okay. I was thinking, I didn't hear of anybody named Clayton. I'm sorry, y'all. Reading glasses and eyelashes don't mix. Oh, they do not go together well. All right, so he was identified in the trial as Dave. All right, during the music mogul's ex-trafficking and racketeering trial, he says there is a different side to Cassie that embraced Diddy's power to manipulate him into their exotic sexual encounters. Wow. Let me give y'all some visuals. This is a pretty, hello, Desire Brooke Rashawn. Hi, thanks for stopping by. Let me see if I can show this picture of Diddy and Cassie. There's a visual. All right. So, all right. So this is why Clayton says he continued seeing Diddy and Cassie for nearly a decade. He said it was 8 years. He says he was nervous. The last night hitmaker, which is Cassie, right? The last night. Maybe not. Maybe that's Diddy. Could easily use his Diddy, his deep connections to retaliate against him. Plus, he needed the cash. And on Tasha K, he said he was getting $5,000 each time. And he said one time only he got $1,500, and like there was some, I don't know, maybe it was an issue with them getting the cash that day. So he said only one time he got $1,500, but most of the time he left with $5,000. And he said there was a time, or maybe more than one time, he made $11,000. And he said that was because, and I don't remember hearing about this in the trial, so y'all tell me. So he said, I'm doing fine, thank you for asking. So he said that there was a, like a marathon between him and another participant. Y'all work with me. It was a marathon between him and another participant. And he said that, I think he said that the other person had another type of job or something like that. So he wasn't really up to it sometimes, and he would win the marathons. So if he won the marathon, he would get, like, I guess a bonus of another $6,000 or so. So yeah, that's the type of money. He said he never made less than $1,500 the one time. Every other time was $5,000, sometimes $11,000. And he was with them you know, doing this for 8 years. So yeah, count that, count that. Pocket watch him for a minute. Okay, so he said he needed the cash, and he was a little bit afraid of retaliation. It says, and if you're wondering why he didn't file civil suit against the ex-lovers earlier, Clayton said he did try. He accuses his attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, of stalling the lawsuit in order to protect Cassie's reputation during the trial. Why is everybody using Tyrone Blackburn? That's his name? I mean, it's some more lawyers out here, right? Why is everybody using the same little set of attorneys? Like, there was the one lady that was taking up a bunch of these cases at first. Let me take this ponytail holder off. It's cutting into my wrist. So there was this one lady that was taking on a bunch of cases, lawsuits at first, and a lot of people were using her. A lot of people have used Tyrone Blackburn. I just wonder why everybody is using the same people, when I know there's many other lawyers that they could use. So he says, and if you remember, one of the friend of Cassie's in the trial, she said she was using Tyrone Blackburn. Now, she wasn't very believable, I don't think, in the trial, but she said she was using Tyrone Blackburn, and he stated something in a way in her lawsuit that wasn't correct. So she didn't like that, and she did let him go as her attorney. So he said Tyrone was stalling the lawsuit in order to protect Cassie's reputation, or he accused him of stalling it to protect Cassie's reputation during the trial. The former ex-worker further addresses why he's going after Cassie for monetary damages rather than criminal charges, telling the U.S. Attorney's Office, the U.S. Attorney's Office is well aware that she was a co-conspirator with Diddy, but they only cared about getting Diddy. Isn't that funny? And they didn't even get him. Now, this is all alleged. This is all according to what is he is alleging in his lawsuit. So, you know, this is his word. All right, so he even accuses the government of not caring about male victims. Oh, wow. Saying it's all about Diddy, Diddy, Diddy. Diddy, Diddy, Diddy. And I did hear him say that as well on the interview that I looked at. He was saying that, you know, the male workers, all the information was just kind of thrown out there about the male workers, kind of without care as to what, you know, they're going to have to deal with and suffer through later. So I don't know if they tried to mitigate that damage before they, you know, got to trial, or seems like maybe, you know, because what was her name? Jane. She was able to make sure, do everything she could anyway, to make sure that her identity didn't get out there. So I feel like that's something. Of course, people say she had lawyers paid for by Diddy. So I don't know, you know, what that was all about and how she might have, how they set that up. But obviously that was set up through her attorney, that she wouldn't be exposed. So maybe they wouldn't have had to be exposed if they would have got lawyers and set that up. I don't know. All right, so anyway, carrying on. As for the rapper getting off on 3 of the more serious charges in the trial, Clayton gives us his raw thoughts, calling this an utter slap in the face to the Me Too movement. Well, it's a jury trial, you know, and in a jury trial, the jury gets to decide. You know, the government lays out their case. Let me get something to drink. So the government lays out their case, right? And if the jury doesn't see it, the jury doesn't see it, you know? And that's one of the good things about this country. I mean, up to this point. And it's one of the good things about a democracy with a judicial system and all that. Like, you get to, if you want to, you definitely get an opportunity to go to trial and have your day in court and have your case laid out before, it's supposed to be a jury of your peers and all that. And you know, so whether it's a slap in the face of the Me Too movement or not, you had what we get. You had your due process according to what we do here, which is put you before a trial if that's what you want, you know. So you can't really, you know, I know people are annoyed and upset and all that, but this kind of the best you can get is a jury trial. That's the best you can ask for. So he, you know, he got the best he could ask for, which is a jury trial, and his money could pay for the best attorneys that, you know, some of the best attorneys that we have, I guess, you know. So what do you do? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Your subscription, thank you. And is it Desire Brooke, Roshan Shepherd? Okay. So anyway, he doesn't, you know, of course he's saying that he doesn't like the outcome of the trial, and he's not alone. Okay, so we've reached out to both Blackburn and Cassie's lawyer for comment. So far, no word back. So Tyrone Blackburn, and Cassie's lawyer. And TMZ is saying that they reached out to both of them to ask them, you know, like, okay, what do you have to say about this man now coming out against Diddy as well as Cassie? He's suing both of them. So TMZ says, we broke the news. Clayton sued Diddy and Cassie Thursday with some bombshell claims, including, oh, okay, so they have I might need to go to another article. So including that says she gave him an STD and forced him to have sex with her while she was, oh my gosh, on cycle. Sounds like this suit has been a long time coming. Stay tuned. Wow. Let's read a couple of comments, because right away I was looking. As soon as I looked down, I saw one that looked kind of interesting. So someone from the comment section says, so true, Cassie is not a good person at all. It's Ryan Leslie, who was her boyfriend, who introduced her to Diddy. She was quick to dump him for Diddy's money and power. Kim Porter's friends say she used to make fun of Kim. What good woman gets with a man who is still with the mother of his children? Cassie wanted the money, the fame, and was ready to do a lot of bad things for it. She should pay for her actions. I hope this guy wins his lawsuit. Wow. So that's a perspective that we don't really hear all that often. Hi, Celeste. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, that's a perspective we don't hear very often. And I think that's because, you know, the first time I was ever introduced to Cassie's business, so to speak, is the lawsuit. Like, I've seen her, you know, with him and pictures with him and things like that, but I never really knew a lot of what was going on with Cassie. I really didn't. So, but when the lawsuit came out, because she kind of came out, you know, with her side. I'm sorry, these glasses are driving me bananas. Yeah, because she kind of came out with her side, and the public didn't have a lot to weigh it against. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, so for me, it was giving like someone who got with someone really early, and the person was, you know, what I would call, like he turned her out. And that's what she said. She said she was really trying to avoid him. When she first met him, she was, of course, she worked, or she was signed to him, I guess, but she was trying to avoid him, like, personally, especially once she figured out that he liked her a bit. So she was trying to avoid him. She said she was in a relationship with someone else and she was not interested in him. This is all from her, what I remember from her lawsuit. So it was as if she wasn't interested in Diddy. He was way older than her. She had a boyfriend that she already liked and everything. And she was kind of taken aback that he was after her. And she said it took like a little bit of time, but he figured out how to get her alone. And then he gave her some type of pill, and then it was kind of like just on and on from there. So so that's what I feel like, that's what the public got introduced to. And so in that regard, you don't really think about Kim Porter and whoever else, because we did know about Kim Porter and the children and all of that. But it was the way that she put it in her lawsuit, it was as if he manipulated her and, gave her substances and turned her out into this situation. And once she was in it, she was just kind of like in it, going along with it, feeling like she couldn't get out of it because she signed to the label and all of that. So, so from the aspect of like being like a fully, it's like somebody walking into a situation and going, I think I like him and I'm going to take him. So that's not the way she presented it to the public through her lawsuit. So that's not the way that, I kind of don't view it like that. So that's why I say this is a different perspective. They're saying, that she was in the middle of him and Kim, and which which I'm sure is true. But since that's not how her lawsuit presented it, I don't think of it that way. So that's the power of somebody being able to get their story out kind of first and on a large scale. She got her story out first. And so that is what we are all, everybody who heard the lawsuit anyway, that's what we're familiar with. So they said that they broke the story first. So that's giving like there's more details. So let me see what else there is that was that they put out first, because he did say a lot in the interview that I saw that I can't play. I would just stream it and play it for y'all if I could, but I cannot risk that copyright strike. So let's read the other. Oh, okay. So this is the first one. So in this one, this was the first story that they broke. So male escort claims she gave him STD, alleges she did away with their pregnancy. Okay, so that's this story from TMZ 2 days ago. I did not realize this was going on until just a bit earlier when I saw the Tasha K interview. Okay, so Clayton Howard, one of the male escorts prosecutors say Diddy hired, is dragging Diddy and Cassie to court. And he says Cassie gave him actually transmitted, or let's just say STD, and got a termination of pregnancy after he got her pregnant. And this is interesting because how would he know? How would they know who did it? So obviously Diddy is very fertile because he's got, what's he got over there? Let's see, one, the littlest one, and then three, 4, and one that's definitely not his, and then another possible. I'm sorry that I'm just gonna say a possible. It's a possible on that one. Let's see. Hey, Shirley's divorced finally. Hey, girl. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. You hope they give him the 20 years. You hope they go with the top of the guideline. I wish that they would have brought some type of charges that could stick, because I don't know what they would be, but I just feel like they charged him wrong, and they probably could have really brought something else that fit better, or some other evidence that they had that they didn't want to present or something like that. Yeah, I feel like they botched their own case, and he could get 20 years. It just doesn't seem like he would get 20 years. And then he has those lawyers, and I'm pretty sure they would, they're going to fight to the bitter end. They're going to be, because they're paid, so they're going to be fighting to get him the least amount of everything until he gets out. But yeah, I think if they would have charged him differently, and it wasn't, if they hadn't charged him with things that was so hard to prove, and people didn't understand how this could be that, yeah, it would have turned out different for sure. So he's alleged that he was. Oh, I know what I was saying. How in the world would he know that that was his baby? And the baby didn't get here, so they can't, test and see whose baby it is. So that's a ridiculous claim. That right there, that don't make no sense, because he does not know if that was his baby. The way that it was laid out, and nobody refuted it in the trial or anything, they would, she would have her marathons with these people, and then immediately afterward, it was like she was going through the tunnel to get to Diddy. So she got to go through this tunnel of this man and however many more, just so she can eventually end up getting to Diddy. So he would be last or whatever, but he was in the number. So how in the world would you know who you were pregnant by? So this, yeah, he's full of it right here, because he would not know. He couldn't possibly know. And in the Tasha K interview, he said that once he figured out that, did he say that it was during the trial? I can't remember, but let's just say once he figured out that she had other partners, because he said for a long time he didn't know that she had other partners. He thought he was, he was the person that they called on all the time. So he said once he figured out that, and then at whatever point he figured out about the, how can I put this to where I'll be safe for YouTube? The whoever that was that, they do something in her mouth. I don't even know how to put that, but he said once he, okay. On live, He said once he found that out, he was really upset because not only did he think he was the only one, and this is allegedly in what he's saying, which I find to be so totally ridiculous. Like, this man, I think he might, I don't know. I think he done dug deep to come up with some of this stuff. Because why would you think that you were the only one? That's crazy. That is crazy. So anyway, yeah, that is just crazy. So, but he says that she gave him an STD, which I feel like that comes along with the territory. Like, if you're in, okay, this is another point. How, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that. How would he know this? How would he know, if he does this type of work, how would he know who gave him the STD? And then there's no way he could know who got her pregnant. She wasn't gonna know. That's something that you know, she would have just had to find out, especially during that time. I think you can find out now while you're pregnant if you want to do some dangerous testing, or I think it's dangerous for the baby, right? If you just have to find out, I think now you can find out. But at that point, I don't even know if they had that testing. She didn't get far enough along to get that far. Like, all of this is like, I don't know. If I was Cassie, which, you know, praise God, I'm not, but if I was Cassie, we could go on to court, because most of this stuff, it just looks ridiculous. And like, each point, you can just throw that out. I mean, you can't be mad at me that this is the work that you do, and then you're gonna accuse me of, unless she admitted it in some messages or something. Now, if she admitted it, then I could, you know, I could see it. But if she didn't admit that, then no, you can't put that on me. And you can't put it on me that a baby is gone when you don't really know, because she always finished with Diddy. And there were, you know, other people in the mix. So, so far, his lawsuit is, I don't know what all is in the lawsuit, but these points, they're not, I don't feel like they hold water. Okay, so then Howard, who says he went by Dave when he was hired for the freak-offs with Diddy and Cassie, makes the salacious claim in a new lawsuit obtained by TMZ. Okay, so we know that. So then the escort claims he contracted an STD from having sex with Cassie, and he says he impregnated her. Okay, we got all that. Okay, she got rid of the pregnancy without telling him. Why would she? This is crazy. And he alleges she then continued having unprotected with him. Oh, man. Where is his responsibility in all this? Like, can he not say that I will not be doing anything unprotected? Like, I don't know. I don't like some of the one-sidedness. So yeah, anyway, and let me read on. Okay. Howard is one of 7 male escorts federal prosecutors in Diddy's criminal case say were transported across state lines for the purpose of the P word. So in essence, these are the cases that Diddy was convicted on. However, it was really the involvement of Cassie and Jane. It wasn't even really, like, the conviction doesn't even really have anything to do with the men. So that part, okay. So he claims he was hired for the freak-offs with Diddy and Cassie starting in 2009. And he says for more than 5 years, they trafficked him for the purpose of commercial X, using him as entertainment to satisfy their X fetishes and personal ambitions. Personal ambitions, huh? All right. So Howard claims Diddy and Cassie rugged, manipulated, or gave him substances, manipulated, and traumatized him. Manipulated and traumatized. Okay, let's see how. Him, while they themselves engaged in a toxic, domestically abusive relationship that often became violent. Okay. I'm still trying to see where he's actually like injured. He says Cassie manipulated him into taking X to C and having unprotected X. And he says she would order him. Y'all, this stuff is hard to read on YouTube. You hear me? Okay. He says she would order him to, pleasure himself for hours on end, resulting in tears, skin peeling, and scabbing. Oh man, I'm sorry. How come he can't just get up and go? Where is his, what is this called? When you just use your right of freedom to just get up and leave. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. So now, wait a minute. Okay, up here. He says she would order him to do that. So I thought Diddy was the only one. I thought Diddy was the only one doing that. Hey. So now he's over in the corner of the room doing this. And he's in tears. And his skin is peeling. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. I don't know. I think he needs to, I don't know where his proof would be for this type of stuff, but she ought to just go on and go to court with him rather than give him any money. Like, I'm not giving, like, you got paid. You got paid. I don't know. I don't know. What do y'all think? I know I'm not finished reading this yet, but this is very ridiculous to me because he wasn't in no relationship with Diddy like that. And Diddy, they're both men. At whatever point he needed to take care of himself, it was too much or whatever. He sounds like he's trying to put himself on the same level as Cassie. Like he had to stay, he couldn't go, he might get beat up or something like that. Like I'm disconnected from this because I'm like, how, I know you got paid and everything, but like you being a man and being like equal with him, y'all not being in a relationship and y'all not being, him not being under the same, if you want to say that Cassie might have been under so many different reasons why she had to just stay. But this man don't have none of that. He don't have no contract. He don't have, he's not a artist or anything. He's just literally coming there, doing his thing and getting paid and leaving back out every time. So why on earth would you be sitting there making yourself cry? I didn't know he said all this. This is crazy. It really is. Because he's put himself in the position of Diddy now. But he says he had to do that, and it resulted in tears and his skin peeling and scabbing and all that carrying on. So Howard claims his dealings with Diddy and Cassie left him with physical and psychological injury, lost wages and benefits, medical expenses, pain and suffering. I hope he can prove some of this. Pain and suffering, emotional distress, and mental anguish, plus loss of enjoyment of life. Oh, Desire. Talking about Diddy. That's what the video is about. The video is about a man actually that is suing Cassie and Diddy. My goodness. He said he lost enjoyment of life. I just don't know how that, I mean, and I believe that, but how is that their fault? Because this is a job that you signed up for and you kept coming back to for 12 years. And I think that it's kind of, I mean, even this argument didn't work for Cassie, right? At the end of the day, he didn't get charged, he didn't get found guilty of the trafficking or the RICO. So I don't know how he would expect for this to work for him, that like I was under so much manipulation, or I don't know. I'm just, anyway, if anybody else sees it differently, let me know, because this, I'm really not seeing how he should get paid off of this. But it says he was not called as a witness, but he was mentioned several times during testimony in Diddy's trial. A federal agent testified about Clayton's stay at a Four Seasons and a flight from New York City to LA, all paid by Diddy. And see, they didn't even call him Clayton; they called him Dave. So they did cover for who he was to, I guess, a certain extent. And then Diddy he's also written a book, so that's another piece to add in here. He has written a book. So Diddy was acquitted on racketeering and trafficking, but was found guilty of transporting escorts across state lines for the purpose. Okay, so was the P charge about them, or was it about the women? I really thought it was about the women. So he was denied bail, of course, and remains in custody awaiting sentencing, and is facing up to 20 years behind bars. That's Diddy, of course. And then they're saying again that they reached out to the legal teams of Diddy and Cassie, but so far they don't have a statement. Okay, let's see what's interesting in these comments over here. So someone from the comment sections over here at TMZ said, the one thing this has proved is that victims are going to have an extremely hard time proving they are actually victims. And Cassie has now got to live with everyone judging her on what she enjoyed doing with Diddy at the start of their relationship, rather than seeing what she turned out to be in the end, a victim. So that's what someone from the comments over here at TMZ said. Somebody else said, to publicly lay out Cassie like this is mad. I hope she does no interviews, because the same media hyping her up as a victim will blindside her with uncomfortable questions for ratings. I know, delete. So, well, you know, it's the news, so people are going to report what is news. Here's a silly comment. Never mind. I'm not going to waste y'all's time with that. It's just silly. Okay, so somebody said he should be arrested for this P word that he was doing. So it's like, dude, so I don't know. Did y'all hear anything in that that would suggest that he deserves any money from Cassie? I was, let me go to let me go to Tasha K. Okay, let's see. So I don't know. I really need the lawsuit so I can see what, you know, if he's got some medical records that support some of what he said, like maybe, but I don't know. Like, can you sue somebody because you decided to take a certain job like that? And then I guess if like the excess of what he was saying on Tasha K, y'all have to go look at the Tasha K interview. I mean, like I said, I wish I could just play it, but I believe I would get a community guideline strike if I did that. But from what I remember from that interview, he said that nothing was really enjoyable. He said nothing was really enjoyable because there was always so much baby oil. And then, you know, I feel like he just took unnecessary shots at Cassie. I don't know. Not quite sure why he would do that. Like, maybe it's true, or I guess since he's suing her, because he was kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth. Like, on the one hand, he was saying he wouldn't, you know, she's got a family. He knows she always wanted a family. So he wasn't really trying to hurt her and things like that. But then on the other hand, like, he said that there was always so much baby oil, he couldn't really enjoy the festivities, so to speak. He said because it was just too much oil, and he said that she was, y'all work with me again. He said she was too loose. And then the oil, I guess, made that worse, or I don't know, but that's what he said. He said he couldn't enjoy it, the whole experience, because it was just too much oil and it was too slip slidey and whatnot. So, yeah, but I don't know, if you're being paid for that, then do you really have to enjoy it? So I don't even know if he has a case where that's concerned, because that's not really his job. That's not really his job to, that's, you know, you're doing a job here. What else did he say? So yeah, I don't remember him saying that about him sitting over in the corner and having to work with himself or whatever. I don't remember him saying that on Tasha K. So yeah, anyway, I'm just trying to figure out what his damages are, because he doesn't really sound like he has any damages to me. He sounds like he has some accusations. I mean, he can say, you know, okay, well, she had my baby, but how do you know? You would not, you cannot know, because you know, because it was said and nobody ever disputed it, that she would always go, you know, she said that's how she could get to Diddy, is doing the part that he wanted, so that when she finished doing that, she would go in the other room, and that's, you know, she would get time, alone time with him. So he doesn't know. He doesn't know that she was pregnant with his baby. He does not, he could not possibly know that. It could have been, but he wouldn't have known it until like the baby got here and they did some testing and that didn't happen. So, you know, so you can't really count that as a damage. That doesn't make sense. If he wanted to say that it caused him some distress, that he was being made to do these things for a long time under the conditions with the baby oil and everything, then I could see a bit of that, but it was a job. You could always turn it down. He didn't have anything to where he just had to keep going back. So I'm just not, yeah, I'm just not getting how he's going to get any money out of Cassie. I think she definitely shouldn't settle. And you know, she doesn't have any incentive to settle either, because everybody already knows, like Diddy, at that time when Diddy settled, nobody knew any of this stuff, right? Nobody knew any of these, all these, what do you call these details? I don't even know. Nobody knew any of this stuff at the time when Diddy settled up with Cassie. But now we've heard, if you listen to all the details that came out in the trial, all this stuff has been said. So there's really no reason for her to try to hurry up and hush him up, or make him go away or anything, because it's all out there. So if I were Cassie, I would not settle. I would just go ahead and take this on to court, and we'll just go ahead and see what a judge would say. And I think his case is weak at this point, because if Cassie didn't win on being an ex-trafficking victim, then how on earth can he win for saying that they were somewhat ex-trafficking him? It doesn't make sense. Kind of like when they said, who's that lady? Capricorn, when they were saying Capricorn, like she's the first person that's ever been kidnapped and then got to go home every day. And they would come get her, make her come and, like stay, and then take her back home. So as for him, okay, you did the job. And if you didn't like not like it, but if you couldn't tolerate everything that's going on within this job, then you don't have to keep answering the phone. There's nothing making him keep on answering the phone every time they called and coming and running for the $5,000. So he's admitted he got paid. It came out in court that he got paid. There's no case here. There's no case. And unless I hear something to where I feel like, oh yeah, but I don't see there's any reason for Diddy to pay him. Like, I don't know. He probably should have brought this before everything came out in trial, because now there's just no incentive. I mean, everything is out. So nobody cares about shutting you up because everything is out. And what you're alleging is like, well, I mean, you got paid, and not only did you get paid, but you left. It's not like anybody was making you stay. You would answer the phone. You would come back. You wanted to get hired over and over and over again, and you did. So So yeah, anyway, let me see. Does anybody have anything? Thoughts, questions, concerns? It's eyelash over here. All right, so that was both of the articles from TMZ. So Mr. Clayton Howard is suing Cassie and Diddy. He was the escort named Dave that went by the name of Dave in the court documents anyway. I don't know if he was saying he went by the name of Dave with Cassie and Diddy, but he was going by the name of Dave when they talked about him in court. Yeah, I don't see why they need to settle with him. Either one of them, really. So yeah. Let's see if there's anything else on him. He's suing for 20 million. I didn't see a dollar amount. Hold on. I don't think TMZ said 20 million. I don't know about that. But yeah, I see 20 million on another platform. That's crazy. Yeah, this is just, I hope he's, whatever money, whatever money he's making by coming out with the story, maybe his book or whatever, but if this is your profession, how on earth can you say who gave you what STD? Again, maybe if he has text messages about it and they, wrote each other back and forth and she owned it, I guess so. The whole baby thing, absolutely not. No. I don't see how he can make that claim. Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and conclude this live right here about Clayton Howard, who is suing Cassie as well as Diddy. And my opinion, no, it's a no for me. It's just, to me, unless there is some, proof of these things, but they don't have any incentive to settle. And I think if they went to court if he doesn't have some really strong evidence that she did things that harmed him substantially, then it's like it's nothing to see here. Maybe he can get a little bit of money under, I don't know, 100,000 or I don't know, something just to make him feel better. But millions, no. Not when this is your job, you embraced it and you, went home and kept answering the phone and kept coming back for your $5,000 to $11,000. That's, nobody was forcing you. Yeah, no. The whole part about the piece about him somebody rugging him or giving him substances. Again, like, can you prove that? Because, you know, if Cassie couldn't even prove her case, I just don't see how this is going to go anywhere for him. And I know it's civil court, it's not the same, but I think the incentive for people wanting to hurry up and settle up in civil court, the incentive is so that it won't be made public. So since everything is already public, I just don't see the incentive for them to want to go ahead and get him out of the way with some money. But anyway, so I want to thank y'all so much for stopping by. I don't see any more comments coming in. Did anybody have anything else? I'll let that stay up there for a second. But if nobody drops down in the comments, I'm going to go ahead and cut off this live. Let's see. Yeah. Jump over here for a second. And what's his name? Yeah.
Because I was going to release it. I had put an Amazon free link, the one I sent to you. I had an editor who was contacting people. I believe my editor contacted TMZ. He might have contacted you also. He contacted a few people to get me for a podcast because I want to tell my story and it promotes the book. So when Tyrone saw the Amazon link, he realized, oh crap, this guy really did write a book. That's when it became a problem. And so like I was saying, Diddy's team, I believe it was what's the attorney's name? The one that did the Youngblood trial, Brian Steele. They subpoenaed. Yeah, Brian Steele. They subpoenaed the book. Tyrone contacts me maybe, I want to say, the second week of May, saying, listen, they subpoenaed your book. They cannot get that book. I'm going to submit a motion to squash. I said, well, why can't they?
It's a motion to quash, poor baby. Glasses. Let's see. So that was him. Is that Mukavelli? Hi, Mukavelli, 16. Yes. Yeah, I was just reading actually from TMZ about, not the whole lawsuit, but just reading the report on what the man, Clayton Howard, that's suing Cassie now. He was an actual freak off favorite of theirs. He said he was around for 8 years. And now he wants to sue Cassie as well as Diddy for several things. Several things he's saying. If you want to go back and do the replay, he said a bunch of stuff. Oh, Mook. Okay, I have a cousin named Mook. Yep. So what do y'all think about this? Like, I have made my case. But I wonder what anybody else thinks about it. I mean, you know, I don't know. Maybe he can have a little money. I hope he's not suing for $20 million because it's just not worth it. Okay. Oh, Roshan Shepherd. Okay, yeah, I thought that was kind of a long name. Okay. Okay, let's see. I've been following the trial closely. I need to know this. Do you think Puff is guilty or did they overcharge him? I think they overcharged him, in my opinion. Are you team Free Diddy? I wouldn't say I'm team Free Diddy. I I actually thought he probably should get bond. And the reason I thought he should get bond is because if everything, I mean, well, I guess the violent part is that's violence, right? But they said like this should be a domestic violence case. So if everybody agrees that this should be a domestic violence case, most people would get out on bond with restrictions and things like that if it was domestic violence. So if you didn't convict him on the trafficking, the RICO, nothing, they didn't convict him on any of those crimes, and they only convicted him on the transporting the workers, then there's really no, like, you didn't get him on those things where you can really just say he's this type of way. So I really felt like he should have gotten out on bond, because if this is all that you're actually holding him on, then it seems like it's not, and I know what the judge said. The judge said, well, you all conceded that he's violent. But I just feel like most anybody with domestic violence, if if they come to your house and get you from your house and leave you in there for a little while and all that, and then they're going to give you a bond. And if you can make bond, you'll be able to go home. So I didn't really understand that part. But as far as just championing for Diddy, no, because we know Diddy did some things, but as far as legally, I feel like he should have got a bond. Let me go back and see what y'all said in these comments. Ooh, a lady never tells her age. Wait a minute. Oh, like black women like Tisa Tells. What did Tisa Tells do? Oh, she demonizes black men? I didn't know that. I don't know her platform that much. Just I did see her doing a lot of reporting at the trial, and she definitely wanted to see Diddy get, convicted on these charges. And I think that she reports on stuff like this a lot. I think she gets a lot of source information, and I don't know if her sources are true or not, but it seems like she really believes, that he's done a lot of bad things. But yeah, as far as like other men, I don't really know her platform like that. Yeah, he wasn't charged with DV, but that's his attorneys kept arguing that this should have been a DV case, and I think they didn't, I don't know, I guess they didn't expect for it to go like that, and then the judge used what they said against them. Their own argument. The judge was like, well, according to y'all, he's very violent, so we're not going to let him out. We have people that are scared of him, so I'm going to deny it. And the judge just did it like that. So let's see, you agree. Cassie's letter to the judge sealed the no bond for him. That's unfair, but I think he'll be home before Christmas. Yeah, I think if y'all didn't get him on the charges where you were saying he did all these things to Cassie, which would be the trafficking, then I legally, I don't see how they could just totally not give him a bond. I think they could have given him a whole lot of stipulations, you know, house arrest, leg monitors. We're gonna keep the tap on your phone. They could have done a lot of things to try to make sure he wasn't out here harassing nobody. You think he needs to be in for a long time? Well, I don't know. I just no. What do y'all think about the criminal justice system? You know, because I see so many people arguing for, like, oh, that's not fair. You know, he should have gotten convicted. You know, some people were happier than what I thought they'd be, and some people were really, really, really upset. But the decision is up to the jury. Those people up there in the box, those 12 people, that's who gets to decide. And they don't, you know, like, they don't have any reason to do anything but listen to the testimony and listen to the instructions and go by that, because they always pick people that they believe, from the little bit of time they spend with these people, right? They're gonna pick people that they believe don't know anything about the case. And I don't know if y'all saw this man that was an alternate. He's been out here doing an interview or two. And he looks like he don't know nothing about Diddy. I mean, of course, he said, yeah, I mean, I've seen him before and stuff like that, but I don't follow his music. I don't follow, like, the culture in that area. He didn't look anything like he knows nothing about Diddy's life and what he's been doing for the last however many years he's been out. And so that's the way it's supposed to be, though, because people that, like me, I did a story when this young lady first came out saying that she went to one of his parties with this prince, this like Saudi prince. And while she was at the party, she was looking around. It was all kind of stuff going on. She was at the party on the outside, and then somebody came in and wanted her to come on the inside. And then it was, you know, she went so far as to say there was little people in there that they shouldn't have been in there because of the age and what was going on and all this stuff, right? So a person like me, I don't have no business on Diddy's jury because I'm biased. I've heard, like, all this information, you know, not all my life, but for a very long time about Diddy. So I don't have any business on his trial because I'm already skewed in a certain direction. They want somebody that's just going to listen to this case, these facts, and tell us, do you believe that he's guilty of these things? And if you don't believe he's guilty for real, then you got to acquit him. It doesn't even mean you're innocent. It just means we couldn't prove that you're guilty. That's our criminal justice system. And, like, that's what we all really want if we were to get in trouble. You don't want a bunch of people that don't like you to come in there and be like, throw the book at them. Where the book? Throw it. We don't want that. All right, let me see what y'all had to say. Let's see. I'll probably do more of these vertical lives because, to tell the truth, my streaming, something is going on with my computer. So I prefer to stream so I can show y'all, you know, pictures and videos and stuff like that. But I gotta, something is going on. So I actually need to get a whole nother desktop or a really good laptop or something. So I'll probably just do these kind of lives. I don't know if I can come up with, you know, if there's things going on, then I may come every evening to night. What time is it? Yeah, like this time of night, 10, 11. I'm in Central Time, so. Thank you for subscribing, Mook. I appreciate that. Let's see. You said you was happy those people saw the tapes. Oh my gosh. I was looking at, different people's coverage and stuff like that. And when the media started complaining that, like everybody should be able to see the tapes and stuff, I was like, oh my God, what if they show this thing in open court? I mean, we weren't going to be able to see it no matter what because they didn't have cameras in the court. But man, that would have been a trip if they would have played it for the whole open court. Oh, okay, yeah. And I feel like I believe her because she was saying that way before anybody was accusing Diddy of anything. Nobody was even talking about Diddy when she did that interview on Soft White Underbelly. Nobody wasn't talking about Diddy. And so the man that put the interview up, he replayed the video, or he did an update with her or something like that when the Diddy accusations started to come out. But I do believe her. I think it was probably so much stuff they had to figure out, what are we gonna make our case off of? And like all these random things that we can't really prove one way or the other, that's just not how the criminal justice system works. You have to be able to bring a case that you think you can prove, and they couldn't even prove this. Those jurors, they didn't see it. And so, it is what it is. Yep, that's her, where she said that they gave her slippers to go in the house. And then, if you don't slip. Oh, what I thought was just so funny was this guy saying he couldn't really, I still say it's not for him to enjoy because he was working. But of course, if that's the act you're doing, then, I guess, of course, it'd be good if you could get some enjoyment out of it. But he was saying so many times he really couldn't get to the end because it was just all this oil and it was just all so uncomfortable, inconvenient. Okay, yeah, it's the same time here. So wherever you are driving, you're in Central Time. Yep, same time here. Uh-oh, somebody said something and they held it. So somebody said something a little crazy, they held it. They're not letting me see it. Let me see if I can play something that he said that was profound. But basically, this man's sentiment right here, just to sum it all up, wrap it all up, he's saying that Cassie, he said he spent a lot of time with Cassie without Diddy. He said that Cassie was doing what she wanted to do. That's what he said. And he said that things like, like I wasn't in love with her, but I spent so much time with her. I did have like some emotional feelings for her, but, he said he knew that she was in love with Diddy. She wanted his babies. She wanted to, she wanted to be more of a partner with him. And so he said he wasn't gonna, get too far into having feelings for her, even though she would want to spend time with him alone. But he contradicts himself a little bit. I'm not gonna hold you because he said that they spent some time together outside of Diddy, but then again, he says that he was never really able to like all the way enjoy what they were doing. So I don't know, I feel like he kind of contradicted himself a little bit. But let's play him just a little bit. I don't want Tasha K's channel to strike me.
Him into things she wants. I personally think she just wasn't as good as Young Miami. Young Miami leveled up off Puff in that short time she was with him. Cassie was with him a decade and had a Jaguar and nothing. I don't understand how that is, other than ambition and really on her. She can't really blame him for that, for things that she didn't do. And that's another thing. I'm going to say that because there were times where I actually heard him ask her about her music. Like, yo, you made music? What you doing? What you doing with yourself? Oh, you know, I'm chilling right now. I'm looking for inspiration. And I heard this from her for years that she wasn't doing anything. He would ask her, he'd be like, yo, you play it. You don't want to do nothing. But why should she have to do something? She's dating him. So she was comfortable. She didn't really need to do that. I totally believe that she allowed herself to get into a situation where she got drug fueled, where she got lazy, and she lost track of herself because she got involved with this guy who got her in. And I do believe he got her into the things.
All right, so that's the type of stuff he's talking about. So anyway, but if y'all want to like hear the real him talking about what all they were doing and all this time, all the 8 years that he was being hired by Cassie, he always says, and they said that in the trial too, that she was the one that paid and all of that. So, you know, he says she was paying, she was always choosing him to come, you know, to be the one that he thought he was the only one that they were doing that with. So yeah, I mean, he's somewhat believable. I just don't think he has a case. I don't see a case for him, because I think if what he was being hired to do, if he became uncomfortable with it, he could have just said, you know, no, I'm not coming anymore. And he didn't say anybody ever threatened him. So I think that's what he probably should have done. All right, Des and Mook, thank y'all so much for stopping in. Anybody else who came in and stayed in the bushes, I appreciate you too. If you subscribe, thank you so much. And if you can, hit the like button also if you haven't done that already. And I will, I'll see y'all on the next one. Okay, bye-bye.